program will begin shortly. Enjoy. Slušate svoj mozak u eteru. Program će uskoro početi. Uživajte.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Vogt Larson, and if laundry machines don't want you to do the dishes in them, they shouldn't sell their soaps in the same aisle together. That's ridiculous. Folks, happy Friday. I hope you're having a good one today. I hope that you're having, just as fun a Friday as I am. Quite frankly, I'm having a very fun Friday. I'm just going to do my usual with you guys. We're going to run through the news of the day. We're going to cover a few basic stories. We got a big one from Politico. This is a pretty direct source, you know what I mean? People tend to trust Politico. Trump, Clinton, Gates are all included in Epstein photo trove. The House Oversight Committee, Democrats, released photos from Epstein estate, linking powerful men to late convicted sex offender. Not fun. Here's an undated photograph from Jeffrey Epstein's estate of Donald Trump with unidentified women, released on December 12th. For some odd reason, they released it with the censorship, but then they took all of it off. It's Jeff, you got Bill, you got everybody, you got the whole gang in a photo. It's great. Photos from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein tied to the convicted sex offender to President Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, tech billionaire Bill Gates, and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. These men and others are featured in roughly 95,000 photos from the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee that they've received from the Epstein estate as part of its ongoing investigation. House Democrats publicly released 19 photos Friday morning. Fun. They said it's time to end this White House cover-up and bring justice to the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and his powerful friends. The House Oversight Committee's top Democrat, Representative Robert Garcia of California, said in a statement, "These disturbing photos raise even more questions about Epstein and his relationships with some of the most powerful men in the world. We will not rest until American people get the truth. The Department of Justice must release the files now," he continued on. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson, in a statement, accused Democrats of selectively releasing cherry-picked photos with random redactions. The Democratic hoax against President Trump has repeatedly been debunked, and the Trump administration has done more for Epstein's victims than Democrats have ever by repeatedly calling for transparency, releasing thousands of pages of documents, and calling for further investigations into the Epstein Democrat friends, she continued. It's time for the media to stop regurgitating Democrat talking points and start asking Democrats why they wanted to hang around Epstein after he was convicted. The White House's response was just to deflect. I mean, let's be honest with you. This story is not really a revolutionary one. We're not looking at this and we're going, whoa, big game changer. Yeah, sure. This is just tying him to people that we've known. Bill Gates, nobody's surprised by Bill Gates anymore. Remember when everybody hated him back in the 80s and 90s, and then all of a sudden he became a humanitarian and everybody loved him all of a sudden? He was fighting AIDS in Africa or something like that, or I don't know, studying beach erosion, all that sort of stuff. He just became this worldly figure where all of a sudden people were like, no, Bill Gates, he's the humanitarian. Not Bill Gates the billionaire, it was Bill Gates the humanitarian. A Jeffrey spokesperson pointed to a recent CNN interview where the leader said he had no knowledge of the email outreach to Epstein, nor did he receive a donation. Jackson also accused House Minority Leader of Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat from New York, and Stacey Plaskett, Democratic delegate for the Virgin Isles, of maintaining ties with Epstein following his sex trafficking charges. We've talked about this. Plaskett was found in a recent release of Epstein emails to have texted him during one of the trials that she was doing with the ex-fixer Michael Cohen for Trump guy. You know what I'm talking about? During that testimony, she was texting Epstein, right there. I don't know what else to say about that. That's fascinating. The Justice Department is required to release a full trench of Epstein-related documents by December 19th, per its terms of legislation Congress passed last month. Of the photos shared Friday, one features Trump alongside someone who appears to be a young woman. Her face has been redacted. Another shows Trump standing beside Epstein, who died by suicide in his jail cell in 2019, chatting with women. While a third has Trump grinning among half a dozen women whose faces have also been redacted. In that shot, he appears to have his arm around one of the women's waists. There's a signed photo from Clinton depicting him smiling along Epstein and Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving 20 years as part of her as payment for her part in the sex trafficking scheme. While Clinton's association, including travel on Epstein's plane after the former president left office, is well documented. Clinton said that he cut ties with Epstein before his 2019 arrest and had no knowledge of his crimes, and we all believe that. That's the thing, is that we all believe that. The image underscores Epstein's long and storied network of connections to powerful men across the industries, former filmmaker Woody Allen to conservative strategist Steve Bannon. They were sent to Capitol Hill after subpoena from the oversight panel for materials from the late financier's estate, separate from the documents demanded from the Justice Department by legislation. I mean, here you also have confirmed figures like Prince Andrew Mountbatten. Everybody, for some reason, is calling him Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. They're not honoring his princely titles. It's rude. It's not okay. It's not right. Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, is seen in one photo on what appears to be a small plane. He and Epstein forged a relationship during Summers' tenure as president of Harvard University, and he's the latest public figure to face fallout from his connection to the financier, including being banned from the American Economic Association and being forced to step back from his roles at Harvard. In a November statement, Summers said that he took full responsibility for his misguided decision to continue communicating with Mr. Epstein. Bannon, who served as Trump's chief strategist during his first term, is seen in the photos talking with Epstein at a desk and standing beside Epstein in front of a mirror posing for a selfie. In another photo, Bannon appears to be speaking with Woody Allen. Bannon has not responded to the requests for comments from various news outlets since appearing in some of the earlier Epstein Files release, but over the summer told attendees at Turning Point USA Summit that Epstein is a key that picks the lock on so many things, not just individuals, but institutions. I mean, that means not very much coming from someone who has personal ties to him. I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah, there's not much coming out of this except for we are just here's more photos of people we already know that we're working together. It's fork found in kitchen. It's nothing news in a weird way. It's just interesting. We're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see more of these kind of files get released. And Politico, it's one of those kind of, they claim to be down the line. Most of the time they can be, and, they have their biases. That's the best way to put it, is they have their biases. Folks, I think we should jump into an ad, because this ad actually could have helped out a lot of these folks if they went ahead and had it. Introducing Photo Scrub, the discreet white glove way to erase service exclusively for the 1%. For one easy 7-figure fee, our team of ex-NSA engineers and Vatican archivists will pixel by pixel vanish you from every tagged photo, group shot, or incriminating yacht selfie. Replace you with tasteful topiary or any sort of we'll literally cover you with a bush in the background of photos of incriminating people that you might have hung out with. Memory hold the originals so thoroughly, even the Wayback Machine will swear you were never born. Because nothing says that I'm just a humble public servant like never having met anyone controversial ever. Photo Scrub. You weren't there. You can't prove you were. There you go. Folks, we have a really basic story. This is one, listen, if you're involved in the streaming community, you may be familiar with somebody by the name of Darren Jason Watkins Jr., also known by his online persona, IShowSpeed. Folks, in late 2025, the popular streamer and content creator has had a suit filed against him for $1 million by the viral Rizzbot robot. That's Rizzbot robot. Does anybody even know what I'm saying anymore? Is this what is a Rizzbot robot? Does anybody know what this is? Apparently, in Texas, he's being sued by Social Robotics LLC, the company behind the viral humanoid robot named Rizzbot. Rizzbot apparently has fallen victim to IShowSpeed in some way. He has victimized this robot, and now all of a sudden he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna he's getting his fucking dues. The lawsuit was filed in Travis County District Court and centers on the chaotic live stream interaction that took place in September 2025 when Rizzbot appeared as a guest on Speed's channel. Social Robotics alleges that during the broadcast, Watkins, IShowSpeed, became agitated, physically assaulted the robot, punching it, placing it in a chokehold, and throwing it onto the ground, causing severe and irreparable damage to its components and functionality. What? I'm going to be honest with you. You can't give streamers anything. You can't let streamers or YouTubers have anything. They're going to break it. They're big children. They're big kids. That's how it is. According to the legal filings and eyewitness accounts captured on the video, the physical handling left Rizzbot unable to walk properly, with broken sensors and cameras and other key systems rendered non-functional. Social Robotics claims the destruction resulted in a total loss of the machine's utility and brand value. They are asking the court for approximately $1 million in damages, including compensation for the robot's physical replacement, lost revenue, and missed business opportunities that stem directly from the incident. I mean, who actually gives a shit? Who cares? That's my question. We have footage from TMZ. We have TMZ covering this dumbass robot suing a streamer. Let's take a look.
Get your ugly ass off my... Alright, bro, watch out, man. That's it.
So essentially what he does is he's just standing there, and then this little robot wearing a cowboy hat is standing next to this guy in what looks like athletic wear. He's like wearing like soccer gear, it looks like. And then he's like telling the robot, get the fuck out my way, like a really gang kind of way. And then he's getting in the robot's face, and then the robot, I don't know if it's pre-programmed to have like responses that it plays if somebody interacts with it, but it plays a shut your fucking mouth audio clip. And then I don't know if he's offended by that or something, but he clearly takes it very personally, and he goes ahead and he bops the robot in the face with his fist. The robot falls over. He just like collapses, and then he begins to pummel it into the couch. And I'm gonna be real with you. He did punch it into the couch, so like maybe there's an argument to be made that he did, like he tried to save it, but he also, then again, you have no reason to be handling this company's technology like this. Anyways, the clip's not over. He's laying down a beating on this thing. He's like just whatever it let's go ahead and let's let this clip play out.
That's it.
Fake punching.
That's it. Yep.
He like thrusts on it. Oh, and he kind of...
No, that's it. He think I'm playing, bro.
Okay, so what it did is it kind of fell on the ground near the end right there. I can see how that probably could have fucked with it, because its legs were all twisted outward and whatnot. That could have easily messed with it. I can understand that maybe getting you a check. Folks, I think we should just let's hear what TMZ has to say.
So that was IShowSpeed beating up robot influencer Rizzbot. And the Rizzbot is not happy. Social Robotics is suing Speed, seeking $1 million in damages. They're claiming that Speed did significant damage to the Rizzbot, resulting in it not being able to make any content for 28 days. Now, during that time frame, they're claiming that Rizzbot was set to play a major role in a Mr. Beast video, which they ended up having to cancel.
Oh, lame.
According to Social Robotics, this absence resulted in a 72% decline in viewership for the Rizzbot.
Folks, if the Rizzbot can't make a career, there's no hope for you. There's no hope for you if the Rizzbot can't even make a career. The lawsuit also highlights the broader impact of the incident on Rizzbot's social media presence, the business engagements. Prior to September, Rizzbot had amassed millions of followers and hundreds of millions of views across platforms, and had booked high-profile collaborations, including a planned appearance with Mr. Beast and on CBS's NFL Today show. Social Robotics says those opportunities were canceled after the robot was sidelined by damage, contributing to the significant drop in engagement and financial setbacks. Law enforcement in Austin, Texas, was reportedly involved after the live stream, with police noting that the robot had been damaged without the owner's consent. And the investigation is ongoing. IShowSpeed's team has not issued a detailed public response to the lawsuit yet. The case has drawn attention. You know, a lot of people are looking at this. I don't know that I could defend him in this one, because I'm going, why'd you have to beat on it? Why'd you have to, like, listen, I don't know why you can't just, like, relax with it. You can't just, like, sit with it. I don't know why your insistence is you have to beat on it. That's a strange thing to me. Whatever. It clearly is not working out very well for you. Listen, no ill will towards Speed. I hope everything goes well, and I hope that, nothing bad comes of this. I'm sure that something may. I don't know. I don't know. I can't claim. Folks, I think we just need to hop into the rapid fire section of today's headlines. There's a lot of news that you need to know about that, quite frankly, I just don't have enough time to write something about. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw it at you, let you hear about it, and then you're going to be like, here's what I think about that. The U.S. escalates tensions with Venezuela through new sanctions and oil tanker seizures. The U.S. has imposed stricter sanctions on Venezuela and seized another oil tanker off its coast amid President-elect Trump's warnings of potential military action to oust Maduro regime. Senate Democrats, including leader Chuck Schumer, have not ruled out the supporting of a regime change yet. They just have to see how it would play. And honestly, we have not had a good old regime change. You know what I mean? We haven't had one in a minute. I'm going to be honest with you. And it would be fun to reinvigorate the spirit of the nation. RFK Jr.'s influence sparks alarm over vaccine policy rollbacks. A former top CDC vaccine expert resigned in protest, accusing RFK Jr. of undermining public health by questioning vaccines for COVID, hepatitis, and measles. The FDA is considering black box warnings on COVID shots, fueling debates on science and immunity. Why is it so wrong to have the basic conversations of whether or not certain things may have adverse effects for certain people? I'm not saying I want measles to come back. I'm just saying, like, not everybody needed a COVID shot. Is that so crazy to say? I mean, in recent news regarding measles, by the way, a measles outbreak prompts mass quarantine in South Carolina. Hundreds in unvaccinated communities are under quarantine after rapid measles spread, highlighting gaps in immunization amid rising anti-vax sentiments. Officials report that reported at least a dozen cases with fears of a wider U.S. resurgence. Get the measles vax. Is it that hard that I really go ahead and I just say that? Whatever. There you go. Health insurance premiums poised to surge after tax credit rejection. Republicans' refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies is set to drive up the cost dramatically for millions, which, they were set to, but they also have been ever since the premiums expired and everything like that. So, with experts predicting explosive increases in premiums starting next year, exacerbating access issues. They were already raising the rates. They were going to lock you out. It's a difference in time. We're locking you out of the 7-Eleven at 7 p.m. now. You can't come in at midnight. I'm sorry. There's restrictions now all of a sudden. German authorities summoned Russian ambassador over sabotage claims. Berlin summoned Russian's envoy following alleged allegations of cyber attacks, election meddling, and physical sabotage, escalating diplomatic friction as Germany bolsters cybersecurity ahead of key votes. I mean, good for Germany. Chile braces for tense presidential runoff elections. Voters head to the polls with high-stakes runoff pitting progressive reforms against conservative stability, with candidates clashing over Chile's post-dictatorship legacy and economic future amid widespread polarization. There's a lot going on in that country, and not enough for me to talk about them, but there's a lot. Terraform Labs founder Do Kwon sentenced to 15 years in $40 billion fraud case. Do Kwon received a 15-year prison term for misleading investors and engineering the Terra Luna stablecoin collapse, which wiped out $40 billion and affected thousands, marking a landmark crackdown on crypto's fraud. I mean, yeah. India approves 11,708 crore for landmark digital census in 2027. The Union Cabinet greenlit funding for country's first fully digital census to be rolled out in phases from 2026, aiming to modernize data collection while addressing privacy and inclusion challenges. Good. Maybe we can start being in that high tech, that we can start to compete with, high tech countries like India. And folks, I want to cover this real quick before we get into our last story, which does involve Kristi Noem. And I know that everybody wants to hear about her, but we're going to talk about her soon. Folks, they're coming for the pot. They're coming for the smoking in public. If you're like me, you look at smoking in public and you're like, okay, I'm not one to do it, but I understand why some may. I'm personally the one to go to my car and I'll smoke in my car. But if you're asking me, like, would I smoke outside of a public building? Probably not. But I know that some people would, and I think that is their right. I'm going to be honest with you. But folks, they are coming for pot smoking in public. It's over. They're not going to let you get away with this anymore. They are passing laws against this. Let's listen to this clip right now.
Everywhere I go, I smell marijuana.
And that smell, the mayor says, has generated constant complaints.
I don't want my child exposed to that smoke.
Tuesday night, the complaints prompted Glen Cove City Council to pass a new local law prohibiting marijuana smoking in public places. The vote was unanimous.
Keep that to yourself. Do it in your own privacy.
Mom Crystal Hamlet cheered the ban, but others call it unfair.
I smoke weed every day. I love it.
This woman and
By the way, have you noticed that it's like the dirtiest people? It's only like decent people showing up going like, hey, maybe it's not a good idea that we smoke in front of libraries. You know, maybe it's not a good idea that when you get off of work, we have people smoking pot in front of gas stations and things like that. These people are going like, I don't care. I smoke weed every day. I love it. I can't be bothered to just try to hide it a little bit. I can't be bothered to just smoke in my own private areas. It's only grimy people that are showing up. And this is what makes people think that pot makes you lazy, makes you unmotivated, makes you gross. It's because the only people that ever show up to defend it are gross, look unmotivated, and grimy. I'm sorry, but it's kind of true.
others argue the ban unfairly targets pot smokers only.
Yes, it unfairly target. This is the bitches who whined when they couldn't smoke inside of restaurants anymore. They were like, this non-smoking inside ban, it really targets tobacco users. Yeah, that's kind of the point, because you are actively affecting the lives of other people. Listen, I get it. If you're at IHOP, you do not want someone lighting up behind you when you're trying to have an omelet or trying to have pancakes, more appropriately. You don't want to be getting a head rush. Because you need to drive. You need to drive home. You guys just got done with church, and you don't need a buzz.
You can smoke cigarettes outside. You should be able to smoke weed outside too.
This woman saying this is the most grimy. Her hair looks unwashed. She's wearing a hoodie that's covering up most of her head. She just doesn't look trustworthy.
The same thing.
Which leads to
It's not the same thing. I'm just going to say it. It's not the same thing. Nicotine, by the way, at the very least makes you effective. It makes you efficient. It makes some people able to work. Weed, for the most part, I'm just going to be honest with you, it makes most people lazy. Not lazy in the traditional sense. It relaxes. It's not, for most people, it's not cohabitative with being functional, being a normal human being who's able to actually assert their coherence over certain situations. Able to clean, able to get things done, able to go through a list of activities that they're going to have to get done with the day. I'm sorry, weed is not helpful to that state of mind for many people, and cigarettes are. Cigarettes do streamline thoughts. They do make people focused in a way that weed cannot really claim. I mean, it can for some people, but it's just not as universal.
question, How was Glen Cove able to pass a ban like this in a state where pot is legal?
And the state sets guidelines, and we have the right to set our own local guidelines.
Starting next year, Glen Cove police will ticket violators. The initial fine could be as much as $100. Sidewalks, streets, parking garages, any public area is subject to the ban.
Of course it can be annoying, if you're in public, because there's children, and you don't want them getting used to smelling that.
The mayor says residents can still smoke marijuana at their homes or on their private property, just not in public.
I can't walk down the street with a beautiful martini. It's a quality of life issue if you really want to talk about that.
Yeah, why not? If we don't let people drink in public, we shouldn't let you smoke in public. I'm sorry to say it. Maybe in your front yard. Folks, our third story, Kristi Noem gets dressed down while testifying. Folks, this is really interesting. Before Congress, in her first major public appearance before Congress in several months, Kristi Noem testified before the House Homeland Security Committee on December 11th, defending the Trump administration's hard line on immigration and homeland security policies. The hearing was formally titled Worldwide Threats to the Homeland, but immigration dominated the discussion, with Noem betraying migrants as security threats and insisting the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, was effectively enforcing the U.S. laws and deterring illegal immigration. Republicans of the committee largely supported her positions, thanking her for her efforts to secure the border and enforce immigration laws. However, the testimony was highly contentious and did not go smoothly for Noem. House Democrats repeatedly challenged her, sharply criticizing the administration's deportation tactics and alleging violations of civil rights and due process. Democratic lawmakers accused Noem of misleading Congress on key points, notably when she claimed that DHS had not deported U.S. citizens or military veterans, only to be confronted with a Purple Heart recipient who had been indeed deported. Protesters also disrupted the hearing, shouting and interrupting proceedings with chants like "End deportations," underscoring public anger over immigration enforcement. Tensions escalated further when Noem left the hearing early, stating that she needed to attend the Federal Emergency Management Agency (FEMA) meeting that had reportedly to have been canceled. She just wanted to get the fuck out of there. I totally get it, because it was embarrassing. This performance was embarrassing. We're gonna review it because it's kind of like football. You have to go back and you have to watch these performances. The move, it drew sharp criticism and allegations that she was avoiding tough questioning. And that's a fair critique. Hit her as hard as you can on that. Democratic leaders, including ranking member Benny Thompson, went as far as to call for her resignation or to potentially subpoena for a reappearance, arguing her leadership had been mishandled at DHS and undermined trust. Her Noem's testimony is highlighting a deep partisan divide over immigration and homeland security policy. Republicans praised her enforcements and focuses on tough stance, while Democrats assailed her for alleging inaccuracies, controversial actions, and perceived lack of accountability. Let's review this clip, folks, because this will be our last one for the weekend, and then I'm gonna let you out. It's like school. You're gonna be excused. You're gonna be allowed to go out and enjoy your weekends with your family, wherever you go. Just be happy. That's all that I request of you, is be happy with yourself and whatever you happen to call love and home. Let's go ahead and let's review where Kristi Noem is most at home.
Veterans, have you deported?
How many veterans have you deported?
Sir, we have not deported U.S. citizens or military veterans.
I don't believe you served in the military. I haven't either, but I think you and I can agree that as Americans, we owe everything to those who have served our country in uniform, particularly those who have served in combat. Do you agree with that?
Sir, I believe that people...
All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. Your Brain on Air is a pro-military show. Not in the sense where we feel as though we need to fund the military-industrial complex, but Your Brain on Air dedicates a moment of silence every day at some point. I know that I don't talk for maybe a full 17 or 18, 20 seconds. I don't talk for a full amount of time every episode. If you condense all the moments where I pause for a moment to swallow my spit, or if I take a moment to breathe, if you take all of those moments, I'm sure it adds up to a minute. We take a minute of silence roughly every day for our veterans, for our Marine, Coast Guard, Navy, like literally, even if you served in the National Guard, I don't give a shit. If you served in anything, we're grateful for your service. We're deeply appreciative towards you. You might be, just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you're a great person. I've met some that are notably not great people, but I'm going to be honest with you. Generally speaking, we're grateful for your service. We're grateful for the dedication that you've made to our country. We're grateful for the sacrifices that were made. Because not many people are. Not many people, regrettably, especially in my age group, you hear a lot of people that will just shit all over veterans. They'll shit all over the military. They'll shit all over the United States. They will shit on things without true and utter gratitude and understanding for what these institutions mean and what the people go through in order to keep our the real world around us moving. So, to the day that I die, till the day that I end this show, we will continue to be pro-military, grateful to our Marines, former active service, everything. We're grateful to our veterans. We always will be. Folks, I don't know what else to say. I'm not about to be storming the beaches, but I'll give you all a big thank you.
That are in this United States, that are citizens, have legal status here.
Madam Secretary, we are joined on Zoom by a gentleman named Sejun Park. He is
Sejun Park, this dude with the receding hair and everything, in a handsome red button-up, he's sitting there looking at her, staring through Zoom on this guy's iPad, and he's just looking, he's like, oh, you can hear the angry, disappointed Asian man accent, or whatever. He looks like he could be Asian.
United States Army combat veteran who was shot twice while serving our country in Panama in 1989. Like many veterans, he struggled.
Shout out to the homeland.
With PTSD and substance abuse after his service. He was arrested in the 1990s for some minor drug offenses, nothing serious. He never hurt anyone besides himself, and he's been clean and sober for 14 years. He is a combat veteran, a Purple Heart recipient. He has sacrificed more for this country than most people ever have. Earlier this year, you deported him to Korea, a country he hasn't lived in since he was 7 years old. Will you join me in thanking Mr. Park for his service to our country?
Sir, I'm grateful for every single person that has served our country and follows our laws.
Can you please tell Mr. Park why you deported him?
Every one of them needs to be enforced.
But you understand that...
I do have to say this. It's regrettable if any people were deported and they just didn't take care of their paperwork. It doesn't seem like this guy was that case, but it is unfortunate because then we kind of do have to send you back because it's like, hey, you were a functioning part of your neighborhood for 10 years, 15 years, whatever your neighbors were crying when we threw you in a van. Then you had a lot of time to get your paperwork sorted out. So yeah, we're going to throw you in the van.
Many veterans struggle with PTSD. Many veterans struggle with substance abuse challenges. This man took 2 bullets for our country. You have broad authority, by the way, as secretary, to issue humanitarian parole, to do deferred action. Will you commit to at least looking at Mr. Park's case to see if you can help him find a pathway back to this country that he sacrificed so much for?
I will.
If he deserved it. If he deserved it. If he earned it. I'm going to be honest with you. He fought in Panama. We don't know exactly what side he was on. My guy could have been fighting to defend Noriega. You know what I mean?
Absolutely look at his case, but I want you to remember...
Madam Secretary, the man behind you, please stand up, sir. His name is Jim Brown from Troy, Missouri. He is a Navy combat veteran who served our country in the Gulf War. He's married to a woman named Donna, who came to our country legally from Ireland when she was a...
Get her out! I don't want the Irish coming to my country. I'm sorry. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the Irish. I'm tired of their Ted Kennedy alcoholic-looking faces. I'm tired of them. Get them out.
11 years old. She has lived here for 48 years. Because of you, Jim's wife Donna has been in prison for the last 4 months.
And it should be years.
She did not come here illegally, and she has never committed any crime other than
being Irish.
Writing 2 bad checks totaling $80.
Look at that! I told you! The Irish, they come, they steal, they pillage, they rape, they lie. I'm sorry. It's the Irish, out of all of the English people, listen, they will get offended if I do not make the distinction. Yes, the Emerald Isles, the English, all of the Britain, all that's different. I understand that. I'm deeply aware of it. But out of all the islands in that center area of Europe, like, I'm sorry, the Irish, I mean, God, the English don't even want them.
10 years ago. She is currently in prison and facing deportation. Ms. Noem, will you thank Mr. Brown for his service to our country?
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for your service to our
Now, what possible...
And thank you to your wife for stealing $80, writing bad checks that bounced. We got to get these criminals out of our streets. We got this old woman who wrote bad checks 10 years ago. How do we know that she's not secretly plotting? How do we know that she is not, like, a part of, the whatever? What are the people that built the fun bombs in Ireland? Them? AFL, DFL, I don't remember. It's not the Democratic Farmers League. It's not DFL. I'm sorry. I did not mean to make the comparison.
Explanation can there be for locking up his wife for 4 months?
She's Irish.
When she has committed no crime other than writing a couple of bad checks for $80.
If she can do a fun
Sir,
dance.
it is not my prerogative.
If she can do a fun dance or sell us Lucky Charms, she's out. She's out.
My latitude or my job to pick and choose which laws in this country get into.
You have broad discretion as the secretary. You can issue parole. You can do all kinds of things, but you're choosing not to. Will you commit again to just reviewing Donna's case and reuniting this combat veteran with his beloved wife, who also loves this country?
I will review the case.
Now, Madam Secretary, you've already heard the story of Lance Corporal Alejandro Barranco. The United States Marine veteran who is behind you, who also has 2 brothers who are United States Marines. Will you thank Lance Corporal Barranco for his service?
Thank you for your service.
His father, Narcisco Barranco, is a landscaper in California who has lived peacefully in our country for 30 years and has no criminal record. Last spring, while he was mowing the lawn at an IHOP, ICE agents tackled him in the street and imprisoned him for weeks. A peaceful, hard-working man who raised 3 sons to be United States Marines. We need men of that character in this country. Again.
Okay. That's the end of the clip. That's the end of it. And it was great. It was great. He popped off, whatever. Yeah, if he had the time to have 3 kids in our country, he did have the time to get legally registered. But we don't have to talk about that. Folks, it was a wonderful broadcast today. I hope that you had a wonderful time listening to me. I had a wonderful time collecting these stories for you. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We're going to catch you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. What the hell am I saying? I'm going to catch you Monday, because that's when we come back. We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We just take weekends off. So I hope that you take this time, this downtime, to enjoy yourself, enjoy whatever you'd like. Be you, but also, love those around you and just be good. That's all the advice that I can tell you. Folks, I hope that you enjoyed today's broadcast as much as I did. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope that you just have a great time. And I appreciate you listening. This has been your Brain on Air with Ollie Vogt Larson. Thank you so much for being here. And bye-bye.